Well, it's been 40 years trying to get one of these sets. I nearly got one a few years ago. But I just need to unplug the other test instrument. But my internet went funny just as I was putting the last bid in. So I didn't get a complete one this time when I paid £54 too much by paying £55 for the CB40F. So, CB40F. I've got the circuit. Oh look, a mic. A CB40F is a transportable. It has a battery compartment, in this case full of corrosion, and it's a transportable which also can be used as a mobile or a base station. So it's got high-low power on the back. So there's something very special about these. I've never seen one. But this is what's inside your Murphy base station. Look at that, totally unusable. So we'll see whether we can open it up. No idea where to start. A CB40F. So I've had it set up on auto search on eBay for 20 years. I think we'll take the mic clip off. So whatever foibles a Murphy base station has, this will have the same, except this won't hum. So just like the story behind the Comtel base station, which is a Cobra SOS emergency set in a big box, when there was a warehouse fire, the stock got smoke damaged, the boards were taken out and turned into base stations. Exactly the same scenario happened with these. I may be taking far too many screws out here. What a faff, I want to see another one of these. But Mark and I, Mark ZX2, G7NDJ, who I worked with for many years at Nottingham Radio, and comes over regularly, he's always been on the lookout, just like I've always been on the lookout for a CB40F. It's not because it's any good, but it's actually the final CB2781 set that we haven't had. So it's like when you're a kid, collect all the milk bottle tops or whatever it was and get to a thingy. Well, we've now collected them all. Oh dear, that's lost that on the floor. That'll be the end of that then, won't it? Don't even know where to put that strap. Right. Is that enough? I think we'll take those out as well. So we haven't got the aerial, we haven't got the mag mount it came with. At least we've got the little dinky mic, which of course you see with the Murphy base, exactly the same mic. I don't even know which lid we're taking off. Still got a screw in there on a bit of a dodgy angle. There we are. Wow. I don't think these were cheap. I think they were £159. Look at that decent sized speaker. We'll try not to disconnect it. So I'll plug the test gear in. I'll run it off we've got high-low power, so I'll just make sure we're on external aerial. We'll make sure we're on high power, and we'll crocodile clip it. And what will we do? We can do it to this side. Power supply on. Wow. That ain't a good start. That just shut down my power supply. Let's go the other way. We'll put it on the on and off switch. We've got a duff capacitor there. And we've got smoke coming out of it. So that didn't work either. Okay, we're actually on. So I've changed that capacitor, and that's now allowed us to power up. So, where we go. We've got an SWR alarm on this. Well, it's certainly transmitting. I just saw 3 watts come up. Volume control's knackered on it. It's full volume-ish. Local distance is your RF gain. Battery check onto the meter. Does that read? It reads relative RF power on the meter. So let's just see whether it's basically receiving. So I'll put 2779125 on the signal generator. Yeah, I can hear that coming through. Put the big signal on. It is an S meter as well. Wow. It's got everything, hasn't it? And you can see there's the SWR sensor at the back. We're going to struggle with that volume control. I'm going to have to change that at an early stage. I don't think a bit of spray is going to do it, but we'll give it a go. I'll just turn the power off so I can waggle it about. Let's try again. No. No, it's knackered. Well, I could look at my Murphy notes. So obviously we don't have the power supply. I'll put that meter away because I don't think we're going to need that. So transmit is 11.10.9.8. 11.10.9.8. So there we are, 11.10.9.8. Right, I'll put picture in picture on and we'll go to the main meter, which has moved. Right. So we're on the 30 watt scale because the radio is doing more than 3 watts. I'll get a sheet. We've still got that vote on going. Am I changing the test car radio from the Midland 78 to the Thunderbolt 3000? Yes or no? And at the moment it's 8 out of 10 people want me to change it. We've got about 60 something votes in at the moment, so we'll take action when that gets to 100 votes. I have no idea what the date is, but you know what, I think it's about the 15th. So at the moment we've got 3 watts. Let's change channel. Channel 40, 2.9 watts. Channel 1, 2.9 watts. Low power. Go back to channel 20. Have I pressed the right switch? Yes, I have. Oh, it's 500 milliwatts. That needs to come down. And the transmit current is 762 milliamps on 4 watts, which is 3 watts. Deviation, for what it's worth on this test set, wallow, 2.1. That's probably right. We're not going to do the VCO because it's not wrong. I'll just see where we are frequency wise. It's 27.79090. Might need to intervene with that. We'll wait half an hour for the test set to stabilise. Now we're going to have difficulty because of the state the volume control's in. We're going to have difficulty in getting a sensible level. So I better plug in the test speaker. Make sure the RF goes in. So at the moment, 1 microvolt. It's not brilliant, but it's not the end of the world. .9. Go up a scale, go up another scale. It is 10 microvolts. I'm not going to start taking meter things, it's too small a meter. Right, we'll turn that down and we'll go into transmit. We'll start there. Yep, that was already peak. That was already peak. At least these things don't tend to be messed with when they're unusual. .8 watts, which on this test set is probably just over, because I've said it's selective to some extent. Well, that's 4 watts. So I'll just see where we are on the other channels. I'd like it to be within 0.1. It's 4.0 something on channel 1, and it's 3.99 something. It really is very close. we'll put 3.95 and we'll put 4.05. So that's then fair. So low power, is it adjustable? It's going to be guess the preset on this. I haven't got any notes for the Murphy, but I tell you what, we can look at the squirky diagram and we may get a clue. I was thinking around VR5. Right, so VR2 is going to be squelch. So let's make some notes. VR2 is squelch. Because there's the squelch control and there's the preset. VR1 is going to be the S meter. What else have we got? Let's look where the transmitter is. No, it's RF meter, that. No, back to S meter. S meter. VR4 is RF meter. So where's deviation? It's going to be VR5 for deviation. Oh, high-low power, is it adjustable? That was my whole reason. No, it's not. Well, that's a good start. So the RF meter, if I can get my electron microscope ready, we've said the RF meter is VR4, so it's going to be somewhere around the back. That's 3. That's not labelled. This is going to be the trouble because you've got the components on top of where the labels would be. I've got a lot of presets. I have. I can see VR1. That's VR2. That's on top of its label. That's on top of its label. So 4 is going to be one of these that we haven't got a label. Well, that is in the right area of the circuit. I'll just tilt this up enough so we can both see. Yes, it is. That's the RF meter. So I'll put that dead on in the centre of the red zone. This is even smaller than on the Oscar SMC Oscar 1. So that's done. Deviation, I'll set that and then we'll come back to it on the other test set just in case. So VR5 is probably this one. So let's put that up on the screen. Wallow. It is. That's correct. Wow, I'm good today. So we've done those two. In that case, we'll move on to. Just not sure I can. Now I think we'll have to pause this and replace this control. Well, it's quite easy to take the front off. It was just a matter of taking the knobs off, but there's no writing on the control. We don't know what it is. So here we go with the circuit diagram again. It's 5K. Well, that sounds pretty standard, and I'm hoping, because I don't have these new in stock. We'd have to order specifically, and I'd rather not hold the bench up for a few days, which makes me wonder what's on a scrap set. I was going to say I've got a scrap Amstrad there, but the volume control's gone. Ha ha! We've got a DNT here. What's that got in it? Well, that's got 10K in it. That wouldn't be the end of the world. I think I'm going to consult Mr. Chippy and see if he's got a new one in stock. Because he does guitar amplifiers, he does have stuff in stock. Before I give up, we've got. Okay, so what I've ended up doing is using the DNT one, which is 10K. It'll just change the way the volume progresses. It won't actually make any difference to the maximum or the minimum. But I didn't really want to order one. Right, so let's have a look at the receiver. Right, I think at this point we've had the set on for a couple of hours. See what we are frequency wise. So let's put the camera on the frequency counter. Poltergeist moved everything, I think. I've not put the front panel on. I'm going to have to saw this knob off so it's the shaft off. It's a bit too long. 79103, so it's time to pull that up a fraction. So where's the synthesizer live? Just there. So where's the crystal? Well, there's the crystal. Don't tell me they're not adjustable on these. So there we've got the synthesizer. You know what? It might be transformer 16. Now, is that one? Yes, it is. So remember in the I'm going to say the Amstrad chassis, but the Cybernet 002 chassis that uses, it's done with a inductor there, variable inductor. So that is how it's set. I'm going to be taking a photo of this, I'm sure, and marking down whatever we've found out. So now it's on frequency, we'll put the signal generator on, and on the correct frequency, 79125. Good. So we'll put the oscilloscope on. And see if we can find a detector. It looks like that one to me. What I don't want to do is mess with the VCO. So I'll once again look at the circuit diagram. I'll turn that volume down. So we can see that we're going to have T1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We've just done 8 and 7. So 1 through to 7 for a start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll start here at the front end. So we'll go over to the SINAD meter. Get about 4 dB on that. So we're not saturating it. Tiny little bit of gain there. Nothing gain there. Nothing gain there. Put a bigger signal on. Put a smaller signal on. Put a bigger signal on. That's making an improvement. It's making a massive improvement. So we didn't find out what T12 does. No, we'll leave that well alone. Right, so the S meter, let's put S9 equivalent on. I'm just going to just verify that's still right. Yeah. Put that onto the attenuator. So 100 microvolts is supposed to be S9, and we've come to the conclusion that VR1 is the S meter. Which is there. Yes, it is. That's the S meter, alright. So I'm just going to put it right on the top of the green zone, in the space between the green zone and the red zone. Because it's not exactly calibrated, but that's where it needs to be, I think. Now, let's look at where we are. We never did the squelch, and I've gone and retuned the receiver. The point is, the meter indicated before. It doesn't have a meter lamp. Switches 5K on, off. Volume replaced with 10K. Right, squelch. Do squelch next. Okay, so for 100 microvolts, I like the squelch to open, and right now it never opens. So never opens. So the preset for squelch we've decided was VR2. And VR2 is there. Yes, definitely there. But I'm sorry to say it never opens even when you adjust it. So threshold's very, very tight on this set. Right, we'll reset the signal generator to threshold on the radio. So just the squelch for threshold. Signal generator back on. This isn't good. It's 2.5 for minimum. That's lousy. So that's what lets down this set. So that's going to not be good as we go around Scratchy Corner. It's far too strong a signal required. I'll just see if I can just... See, we've now got the squelch preset at minimum. I'll just see if I can set it on the radio any better. Just have another go. That really is threshold. No, it doesn't matter which way I look at it, it's 2.5. Right, not good. So that's the first nasty thing we've come across. Sensitivity now. Let's have a look at that. Open the squelch. And let's see what we have for... I got RF gain in the wrong position. It's the switch, and taking the front off's knocked it, so we're going to have to do the squelch again. So sensitivity for 12 dB is actually now 0.51. So that's nice. For 10 dB, 0.5. I don't think this has been ever fiddled with. And for 20, it is 1.5. So let's do the squelch test again. Put the squelch to full. 3, 10, 30, 100, 300. So it still never opens. And on threshold, we'll reset everything. That's better. That's a very good 0.55. So my apologies to it for saying it was lousy. Good, we're done. I'll take a photo. Right, I'll disconnect it from power and I'll take a photo. Right, so I've done my photo. Frequency adjust, VCO, which we didn't explore. We didn't explore every preset. I don't need to upset anything I don't need to mess with. The snag is that unless you took the presets out, you don't know what the designation is. I'll have to look back on one of my Murphy CBH1500 videos. So there we go. Now the fun bit, trying to put this back together. Oh yeah, we're going to have to work the polarity out of that. Now the other one, which was a swine to take out. I think the safest thing to do at this end is to actually try it and make sure it's right. I've got the serial number as well, 200659. So I want to try the internal speaker before we start really having a faff with it. Now what will fit in this hole? It's more like the lead on for cassette recorders, to be honest. And which is negative and which is positive. And what we'll do, we'll put the power supply on a really low current at 9 volts and see if when we connect it we end up causing aggro. Just make sure the set's off. Well, that seems alright. This may not be active until you put a... it may not be active until you put a plug in and operate the switch. No. So we're going to have to connect to this. I think we're going to have to do something lead-wise to make this fit. This is frustrating. Right, we've got it back together, and it's a cassette recorder type figure 8 mains lead. So I've just plugged it into a figure 8 mains lead and put my crocodile clips onto the plug. So bit scary because somebody could easily put mains on that when it's 12 volts. Anyway, there we go. So it's got its own little stand, so I won't need to put the bench cookie what's-it underneath. Let's get it plugged into the roof area. Oh no, let's just double check the deviation. I'm going to put it back together without double checking that. Wow. As it happens, it's spot on. Right, make sure picture-in-picture is off. Switch off camera, bank number, whatever. Right, we'll plug it into the roof aerial. And see if we can hear anybody. So now you all know what's inside a Murphy base station, a CB40F. One on a Roger. Oh well, nobody on, that's nothing different, is it? Yes, I'm pleased to finally get one of those. I say it doesn't matter how good or bad it is, it was just that last set on the list which we hadn't got. So, hope you found that a bit more interesting. It's an unusual set. Thank you for watching.